of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
I did. Councilmember Erby? Here. Councilmember Page?
Here.
Councilmember Wassinger? Here. Councilmember Gray?
Present.
Councilmember Dolan?
Here.
Councilmember Tracus?
Present.
Councilmember Harder?
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
I move for approval of the journal of meetings of December 5th, 2017 and December 12th, 2017.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Journal's approved. We have no bid openings today, so we'll move to communications.
Mr. Chair, there are no tax compromises this evening, so we'll move to zoning matters. Under zoning matters, item number 1, 3rd District. Oops. Receive and file, please.
So ordered.
Item number 2, 4th District.
Receive, file, and the county council will be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 3, 6th District.
Receive, file, and the county council will be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, please.
So ordered.
Item number 4, 6th District.
Same motion.
So ordered.
Item number 5, 6th District.
Receive and file, please.
So ordered.
Item number 6, 6th District.
Receive and file.
So ordered.
Moving on to road and bridge matters, Mr. Chair. Item number 1, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 7th Districts.
Receive, file, plan, specifications, and detailed estimate of cost be approved, and the Director of Procurement be authorized to advertise for bids as recommended.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Moving on to other communications, Mr. Chair. Item number 1.
I'm sorry. Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 2.
Receive and file, and that will be the order.
Item number 3.
Receive, file, and the county council will be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Item number 4, 5th District.
Receive, file, and the agreement be approved as recommended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 5.
Receive, file, and the county council will be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Item number 6.
Same motion, and that will be the order.
Item number 7.
Same motion, and that will be the order.
Item number 8, 1st and 4th Districts.
Receive, file, contract in an amount not to exceed $1,023,000, $104.25 be approved and awarded to Plucker Construction Company, Inc., the lowest responsive bidder, as recommended, and authorization for revision to the existing traffic control devices be approved as requested. Did I say that
Second.
amount right?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 9, 3rd District.
Receive, file, contract in an amount not to exceed $1,413,785.29 be approved and awarded to L. Crop Construction, Inc., the lowest responsive bidder, as recommended, and authorization for revision to existing traffic control devices be approved as requested.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 10, 3rd District.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 11, 3rd and 7th Districts.
Receive, file, contract in an amount not to exceed $1,655,777.64 be approved and awarded to Gershon Construction Company, Inc., the lowest responsive bidder, as recommended, and authorization for revision to the existing traffic control devices be approved as requested.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 12, 6th District.
Receive, file, contract in an amount not to exceed $668,315.50 be approved and awarded to Pace Construction Company, the lowest responsive bidder, as recommended, and authorization for the revision for the existing traffic control devices be approved as requested.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 13, 7th District.
Receive, file, contract in the amount not to exceed $227,465.07 be approved and awarded to Gerson's Construction Company, the lowest responsive bidder, as recommended, and authorization for revision to the existing traffic control devices be approved as requested.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 14,
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
no add-ons this evening, Mr. Chair.
Report of the county executive.
Nothing further.
Public forum.
We do have a report of a special committee, Mr. Chair.
Oh, skip that.
The first.
Report of
number
special
one.
committees, revenue and personnel.
I move the report be received, filed, and adopted as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We're holding the second.
Please hold on the order of business.
Second report will be held. Public forum.
We have 8 speakers this evening, Mr. Chair.
When your name's called, please approach the podium and give your name and address for the clerk. And we ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes per speaker.
First speaker this evening is Walter Henkel.
Walter Henkel, 6621 Higgy Road. You want my phone number also, sir?
Nope.
Okay. What I'm here about is if you put in those houses on the Tower T property like they want, I can't help but thinking that's going to impact the traffic on Higgy Road terribly. The road already is jammed during rush hour. And if they widen the road, my house is right next door to the property with the Union Electric substation in between. I don't own the front 10 feet of the ground. If they're content with that, that's fine. I could even absorb another 10 feet of my yard disappearing. But if they want to go any further, they're going to be coming through my front door, which means I'm probably going to be throwing off the property. And those are my concerns. Yeah, that's
Thank you.
it.
Next speaker is Terry Pilak.
Teresa Telling is my name. I live on
I'm sorry,
Hickey.
Mr. Chair, can we ask the speaker to spell her last name for us?
P-E-L-E-C-H.
Thank you, ma'am.
I live off of East Yorkshire, which is off of New Hampshire. On a given day from Laclede Station to Valcour to New Hampshire, maybe a mile and a half, at this point in time, we've had several accidents, people hit, and it takes me 40 minutes to get to New Hampshire, which is right where this gentleman lives. We are afraid that if the infrastructure enlarges, or it doesn't enlarge, that we're going to get the traffic from McKenzie coming down through our subdivision at high rates of speed. The other suggestion that one of my neighbors wanted to bring to you folks tonight, who lives on New Hampshire as well, is if you're going to have access for this subdivision that we don't want, mess up our beautiful deer, to make an access from Watson Road through the cemetery, the back way. You've got 4 lanes on Watson Road. It'd be a beautiful scenic route, not to disturb anybody in the cemetery. So, this is how are we going to expand the railroad trestle? You know, it's just that whole intersection there is crazy. I mean, joggles and people flying out. The golf course has been a beautiful thing. We like green. We want to keep it pretty green, and maybe we can make it a county park. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Jennifer Byrd.
My name is Jennifer Byrd. I live at 9244 Laurel Hill Drive in Crestwood. Thank you for taking my comments. Once again, I would like to ask this council and Mr. Harder if you would kindly submit another bill to change the time frame. I understand this is before the break, so the time's a little earlier, so it's a little difficult to get here, but I do appreciate your taking my comments. As this council knows, the budget as it has proposed is not a spending cut, it's a spending freeze. I think it was very responsible of you to do what you did, and I'm happy that this was a truly bipartisan effort to bring fiscal responsibility once again to this council, and I truly appreciate that. So I hope that you believe my comments are sincere, and I hope that this budget will pass as you have proposed and not have any expenses that are unnecessary, like budgeting money for jobs that have been vacant for almost 2 years, for example. So I'm going to keep my comments brief, wish you a Merry Christmas, and hope that this doesn't turn into a political argument, because as we already know, this is bipartisan support of fiscal responsibility, and I urge you to support that. And then, last, you've told me 2 times that you would meet with me and our group concerning city-county merger and opposition questions. I'm still waiting for that meeting, so I'm here to kindly remind you, and I think you have my contact information. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Next speaker is Gina Mittauer.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gina Marciano Mittauer. I live in Valley Park, Missouri. I'm here to talk about this, the increases in the spending here. And Mr. Stenger, your spending has been out of control. There's a lot of, let me define this for you, is what we would call it is pay to play. You didn't disclose a lot of donors that you had that hold county contracts. Okay, you've gotten $325,000 from developers at Northwest Plaza. Donors, let's see, $2.1 million in St. Louis County contracts. You're giving take-home cars to people that Mr. Charlie Dooley had taken away to save the county money. You have, with the Lewis Road Bridge, there was an issue there, and it happened to be one of your donors, so that issue was kind of squashed. We have a Prop P that when that happened, the money wasn't going to go to the policeman, and Miss Snyder's wife spoke out and felt that she was used as a political pawn, and you were forced to sign to make sure that that money went to the police. And it's kind of funny that Mr. McCullough is going to get a nice raise when he leaves, and that now Mr. McCullough is not seeking any death penalty charges on the murder of her husband. And I want to tell you that really did a lot for race relations. Let me tell you, you should read the comments on the internet. So I don't know what's going on there. You tried to fire Mark Trucker, the auditor, when he was trying to research your spending. You pointed fingers at Dooley with 3 fingers pointing back right at you. And it's just out of control. You distanced yourself from Lieberman, the man who shot and used racial slurs. Even Channel 4 covered up for you. But I have a lot of friends and family and a lot of eyes in this town, and you were seen at Cafe Napoli with him and 2 other men leaving together. So your ties with him were a little more closely. There was really nothing to hide there. You could have just said, hey, that's not the behavior I knew. But you hid that, so I don't know why you're hiding that. So people are not happy with you. We went to Bishop DeBerg together, and I don't know if you skipped religion class because the behaviors that you have shown are not moral. They're not part of the 10 Commandments, and I think your parents should ask for a refund because you've learned nothing. And it's an embarrassment to Bishop DeBerg alumni that what you do here is very immoral. And people deserve honest government and transparency, and you are doing none of the above. And watch out, because we're gonna get a candidate and you're gonna be voted out.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Tiffany Pike.
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Tiffany Pike, and I work at the St. Louis County Police Department. As a professional staff employee, I've been up here the last few weeks pleading with you for help in addressing our concerns with pay raises that were requested in the 2018 budget. My intentions were never to beat you up about them. I was just here to simply ask for help and raise awareness. We were promised that we would be included in raises with Prop P when it was initiated and when it was passed. I know this was not a promise that the council made to us, but we are hoping that you will help make it a reality. Including just a 3% raise seems like an easy way out and saying, well, technically we included you. I'm very disappointed that the chief's original request of 7% in reclassifications was not added to the finalized budget, as we had hoped that you would do. While it was not the best solution, at least it would have given the professional staff hope. And right now I'm trying to convince myself and other coworkers to stay with the department instead of looking for jobs outside the department. A little hope goes a long way. I was hoping that you would be able to provide that hope for next year that would bring positive changes. I know you said you understand our concerns, and everybody seems to say that they understand. But what I'm wondering, is anyone willing to do anything to make the necessary improvements? Are you willing to do anything? Stanger, are you willing to do anything? I'm not up here to point fingers or to blame anyone for our lack of inclusion in the budget. There are a multitude of reasons that the ball was dropped on this issue, including us not speaking up sooner. I've learned a few things the last few weeks. One, don't expect anyone to keep a promise. And two, if you want something to happen, make it happen. Don't sit around waiting for someone else to do it. We fully intend to continue to fight to fix the pay structure. Passing the budget today will not end our fight. You say you listen to your constituents' concerns, and I'm one of them. I live in this county, and I'm here voicing my concerns. I'm hoping you'll listen and do what is fiscally responsible. Instead of approving frivolous spending on pet projects, please take care of your people first. We are your most valuable asset. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Next speaker is Gene Hutchins.
I am Gene Hutchins. I live at 9447 Radio Drive in Afton. I encourage the county council to carry on and vote with your amended budget to keep the spending under control. I believe you shouldn't touch those reserves unless you have an emergency. The present situation, while it looks dire, it's not that kind of emergency. I just encourage fiscal responsibility. I don't like a tax rate increase, and I don't want to see a decrease in services, and this seems to be a way to do it. Thank you.
Thanks, Gene.
Next speaker is Michael Burton. Michael Burton. Tom Sullivan.
Mr. Chairman, I have a few things to mention. As you know, I filed a complaint against you yesterday alleging you violated the Sunshine Law last week by bringing substitute bills before the council, bills that had been filed only 2 hours before the meeting. We will see what the Attorney General's office has to say. Even if there was no Sunshine Law, it's a bad way to do business. The council has taken some steps this year to open county government, but there is still a long ways to go. Last week, I noted there was a lot of skepticism about County Police Chief John Belmore's investigation of county police officers alleged to not be on duty at Metrolink stations. The chief has refused to release the report. Chief Belmore has always responded to criticism about a lack of policing on Metrolink with statistics of how many arrests have been made. But now it's being alleged the chief is cooking the stats. I still believe the council needs to look into this matter. You would think it would interest County Prosecutor Bob McCullough, but he has ignored it. One thing that does interest Bob McCullough is Councilman Tracus doing some legal work for school districts. He has made the bizarre claim that this disqualifies Mr. Tracus from holding office as a councilman. This comes on top of Mr. McCullough looking into the requirements of the county auditor. It seems he is quite selective in what he looks into. Clearly, he is abusing the authority of his office as politics is deciding what he investigates. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Tom.
Mr. Chair, I think Michael Burton may have returned to the room.
Yes.
Hello again, Michael Burton here. Thank you all for being here once again. Really do appreciate all of your time, taking the time to listen to us. This past week, if you remember, I'm here from the community of Afton. And over the past week, I spoke to the community of Afton and got some feedback from them. I posted something on the Afton community page. There's over 6,500 members on there about when I spoke here. And I think there was 86 likes and who knows how many shares. Not a single person on that forum disliked the post. So it seems like if you did a poll of the community of Afton, a lot of them see the concerns of traffic and also see why it's going to be a great thing if we can keep Tower T there. Let me share a few of the concerns that they had with me. Now, since Pat Dolan is the councilman for this district, I mean, most of these are directed towards you, but if anybody wants to chime in and answer them, that would be wonderful as well. Has anybody on the council not heard about the McBride deal outbidding Tower T on the space of KSDK where Tegna owns it? Is everybody aware of that deal, that proposal? Yeah? Okay. Has anyone on the council made up their mind about this deal yet? No one. Okay. Is everyone on the council aware of all of the traffic and safety concerns regarding this proposal? Everybody's aware of all these safety concerns? Let me go through a couple. Has there been a study of what will it do to Higgy and McKenzie Road regarding traffic? Has there been any studies regarding traffic on what it will do on Higgy Road? Councilman?
Well, if you want to finish your questions, I can respond when you're done speaking.
Okay, well, let me just ask you that. Has there been any studies done on what it will do for the traffic on Higgy Road?
Well, as of right now, there has not been a formal proposal sent to the P&Z, so there is no project. But when there is, they will be required to do traffic studies, and I would assume.
And after that proposal happens, what is that time frame of the traffic studies compared to when you're going to be voting on this? How much time is in there?
Well, there's quite a bit of time. There's a P&Z, the Planning and Zoning Commission will review the request, at which time you will have an opportunity as the public to share your concerns. The studies will be done as required by the P&Z. And additionally, if you checked your Facebook today, I responded and did mention to everybody that I will have a town hall meeting prior to that to explain exactly the whole process, the entire process, both sides of how things work.
Why don't we know about the process so far?
The process isn't there yet.
Well, I understand that,
It
but
hasn't been, the P&Z has not been given a proposal.
I understand that, but what I'm worried about is that there's going to be a proposal, and then all of a sudden, before the community of Afton gets to be heard, it's just going to go through. Can you assure me that's not going to happen?
Assure you what's not going to happen?
That the voices of the community of Afton will be heard before you vote on this?
Let me explain again.
I understand you're going to have
at a public meeting, explain, sharing your concerns. You can come every Tuesday you want, so can anybody in the community for anything. there is a process which the people in that
Totally
area will be
understand.
notified of the P and Z meetings when they are held. You're more than welcome to share your concerns at that meeting. And I offered, out of no obligation, to have a town hall meeting to address the concerns to the community.
Thank you very much, Councilman.
So, yes, there's plenty of ample opportunity.
I do really appreciate that. The thing that your assistant posted on Facebook did not, it was quoted by you, but it was not you posting on there, but it kind of made people confused that am I breaking any regulations by speaking here tonight about this?
No.
Okay,
But,
well,
let me explain
it
something.
confused people,
No, because I helped
what
him,
Pat
and
posted on that,
he
and a lot of
posted it
people were
because
confused.
He works for me in the county, and he works
I
for
wish you
Fifth
would have
District.
posted them.
He works for you, as a matter of fact.
He does.
Well, if you live in the Fifth District, but the reason he posted that was so that people would understand that tonight, your concerns, and in the post said, you're more than welcome. We appreciate your input at any
Thank you.
meeting,
Thank
at
you,
any
Councilman.
time, even without a meeting, you can contact our office. But there would be nothing addressed about Tower T tonight because there is no official proposal.
I understand.
So at 3 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon, I felt it might be considerate on our part to tell the people that there's no need to go try to find a place to park in Clayton and go to a meeting, which would really have no bearing on what's going to happen at Tower T. Their voices are more than welcome. They can come.
I feel like, don't you feel like the proposal will probably come in January or February? That's what I understand.
There is no proposal yet. So
Okay,
I don't know when
but
it's coming.
don't you think that it's okay for the community to start putting on the pressure now?
You can do whatever you want.
That's what we're doing. But on what you did today on that Facebook page confused a lot of people, which I don't think was beneficial. So let me ask you a couple more things. Mr. Dolan.
Michael, your 3 minutes is up. If the councilman wants to continue a dialogue.
Last week, he interrupted me 3 times. One more thing. Pat Dolan, will you spend 25 minutes with me and 5 other citizens to hear our concerns about Tower T?
Michael,
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman. This is going to be a long process, and I would encourage you to come to council meetings. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. If the councilman, we ask that you direct your comments to the chair. If the councilman wants to engage you, I think that's great.
I will follow those rules next time.
No, but I don't want to discourage you from coming. I don't want you to feel like we're
That's
trying
what
to do
happened
that.
today on this Facebook post.
Okay.
That's not what happened.
We don't want to discourage you from participating in the process or anyone who has similar feelings. When this comes to the planning and zoning meeting, there will be notifications, there'll be signs, there'll be postcards to people who live close by. And I suspect that since this has become a topic at a council meeting, that there will be some news coverage as well.
Okay.
We'll do our best to make sure that this doesn't make any steps through the process that you're not a part of.
Chairman, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, and I'm sorry for going over my time.
I don't want to do anything to discourage you from coming to the meetings and expressing your opinions.
Yeah, I just want to know about the studies on the traffic, and I just want to sit down with this
All of
gentleman.
that's the process.
And I want to be friends with this gentleman and all of you, but thank you very much,
All the
Chairman.
questions you have are the normal process of an application before P&Z.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Chairman, make
Yes.
a very brief comment. As I just told you, anytime, set up a meeting, I'd be happy to meet with you. The first thing we said in that response was, we encourage people to come to these meetings, and we did not tell anybody not to come to this meeting. That was never implied and never said. I talked to people at 7:30 this morning who live in the area about this Facebook or whatever you sent out. So to say I'm not communicating is not true.
Let's just communicate later. Thank you, Chairman.
Let's do that.
Thank you, Council.
Thanks. That concludes our public forum. Proceed with the introduction of bills.
Bill number 355, introduced by Councilmember Harder, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with the United States Fish and Wildlife Service in connection with restoration of prairie habitat at Foss Park. Bill number 356, introduced by Councilmember Wassinger, an ordinance authorizing the accounting officer and the director of Parks and Recreation to pay over to the Transport Museum Association an amount not to exceed $63,000. Mr. Chair, that is all the bills.
Perfection.
Bill number 305, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
Please hold Bill number 305.
305 will be held.
Bill number 307, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
Please hold Bill 307.
307 will be held.
Bill number 350, introduced by Councilmember Erby.
I move for perfection of bill number 350. Oh, no, hold that one, I'm sorry. Please hold that.
Bill number 350 is held.
Bill number 351, introduced by Councilmember Page.
I move to perfect Bill number 351.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 351 is perfected.
Bill number 352, introduced by Councilmember Page.
I move to perfect Bill number 352.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 352 is perfected.
Bill number 353, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to perfect Bill number 353.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 353 is perfected.
Bill number 354, introduced by Councilmember Wassinger.
I move to perfect Bill number 354.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 354 is perfected. Final passage.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 183, introduced by Councilmember Erby.
Please drop from the order of business.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 183 is dropped.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 296, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move for final passage, substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 296.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
No.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
No.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
To try and substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 296, there are 5 ayes and 2 noes.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 296 is finally passed.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 314, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move for final passage of substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 314.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Just may I make a comment?
You may.
In regards to most of these sub-bills, in particular this one, first of all, I want to thank all the departments for their budget that they did turn in. I think, it was hard work, and I appreciate the budgets. But more importantly, I appreciate what you do throughout all the year. I've always been able to call any department and get information that I needed to guide me in whatever way to come to conclusion about anything that's presented before this council, and this is just me. So I appreciate what you do, and I think you're fiscally responsible in what you do with your departments, and you understand that we are tightening our belts fiscally here, and you've presented a budget wanting to do that. I do believe that in times when there's need arises, you have to be able to spend money, contingent money if need be, and if you don't have that ability, then the citizens could suffer because of that, simply by the fact that they have to wait another month or so to get additional funding, and sometimes that's costly, and it's burdensome to the residents. Not to mention the uncertainty for your employees, not knowing for guaranteed that they're gonna have a job all year. So I don't think anybody's intending for that to happen, but it's a consequence of this, and I do appreciate fiscal responsibility. I understand that we all have that responsibility, and I believe everybody wants that, I agree, but I do see that being genuine here, that there is some political reasons for some of these budgets, and that's the way it is. If you're political with me, that's fine, but when it starts getting to affecting some of the constituents I represent, I don't agree with it totally. So, and merely the fact that I was pretty much left out of this budget process anyway, so with that, I vote no.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
To try and substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 314, there are 6 ayes and 1 no.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 314 is finally passed.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Yes.
with respect, I'd just like to respond to Councilman Dolan's part of his comment anyway. I think it's important that people understand that that bill, along with the other substitute bills we're going to pass, hopefully tonight, do not cut the current budget. In fact, they provide for every dime that was spent by the county 2017. So the idea that any county employee's job is in jeopardy is misleading at best. No one's job should be in jeopardy. The county government is in fact getting every cent it spent in 2017 plus about 5%. What the county council is doing, or the majority of it, is simply fiscal responsibility, making sure that the county is fiscally sound, our bond rating is secure, and our reserves stay where they need to be. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear. I think it's misleading just to cast the idea that jobs may be lost or taken away, or that services may be cut. I don't see how that can be when the same level of service that we had this year has been provided for, and any department is free to come back and ask for a supplemental appropriation at any time. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Councilwoman Ree?
Just to piggyback on what Councilman Tracus said, everything he said, I agree with 100%. And also, we felt that with having cutting back on spending and making the departments live within their budgets for 2017, that hopefully in January we can come back and look at raises for the employees who were cut out of this Prop P money, as well as the civilian employees, because I think most of us agreed that something went wrong with allocating the funds for Prop P and leaving out so many of the employees who deserve the raises. And I don't know if Tiffany's still here, but it almost brings tears to your eyes to know that that so many support personnel were left out of the equation. I don't understand that. I don't know why. I think that the people who came up with those raises and the pay increases, I mean, I believe sincerely that our police officers needed a raise. But why some people are given such a huge amount and then others were left completely out is just beyond me. And hopefully if we can live within our 2017 expenditures, that we can go back in January and look to see where we can give raises to those of you who were left out. And just, please have faith in us and know that we have not abandoned you and we're still trying to work this out.
Thank you.
Yes, what I was going to say is similar to what Councilwoman Irby said, as well as, yes, there were some directors who wanted to give raises, including the chief, but they did not include those raises in their budgets. We don't have the resources to find money in someone else's budget. So as she said, we left money there. If the chief wants to add a 7% raise to his staff, he can bring us a budget. If there's some other directors, I won't go into details, who mentioned as well. And I think a couple of other departments will work on getting raises, but they have to present us with a budget, because they know what their department can cut or can lose or can not have or live without. We don't know that. We don't work in those departments, and we don't want to cut something or whatever that you may need. That's not a decision that we can easily make without the resources needed. So again, I piggyback on what the two council people said and add that as well. But we don't mind giving raises. We don't have a problem with that.
Okay. Next item.
Mr. Chair, I'm not sure if I announced the vote on substitute bill number 1 for bill number 314. There are 6 ayes and 1 no.
Substitute bill number 1 for bill number 314 is finally passed.
Substitute bill number 1 for bill number 315, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move for final passage of substitute bill number 1 for bill number 315.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Irby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Before I vote yes on this, I just want to make a brief comment regarding the whole budgeting process. And to echo Councilmember Dolan's sentiment, I know how hard the directors and the executive staff work at preparing that budget. It starts in August. It's a very lengthy process, and I know this proposed change is different than what we have done in the past, and I know that that is a challenge on such short notice. And I have tried to reach out to the directors and let them know with sincerity that I truly anticipate and expect to see people in front of us if they need additional expenditures. If the 2017 amount plus the 5% is not sufficient, I would certainly encourage you to come back. I know it's an open door policy here, and I hope that we can communicate in a collaborative fashion with the executive's office, because he plays an important role here too. And with that, I vote aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
No.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on substitute bill number 1 for bill number 315, there are 6 ayes and 1 no.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 315 is finally passed.
Substitute bill number 1 for bill number 316, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move for final passage of Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 316.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
No.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on substitute bill number 1 for bill number 316, there are 6 ayes and 1 no.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 316 is finally passed.
Substitute bill number 1 for bill number 317, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move for final passage of Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 317.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember, sorry. I think I started talking before you.
I vote no on that. I apologize. I was looking at the wrong one. I threw you off there?
Yes, sir.
We will-
She knew it though.
We'll recognize Councilman Dolan as a no vote on that bill.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
I would also like to echo some of the sentiment of other council members on this council concerning this budget, and I wrestled with this for a long time, and after going through the budget hearings that we had and listening to the department heads and what they had to say, I believe this was the right course, and to slow down the growth of government so that we don't have to increase taxes in the near future, and also to make sure that we live within our budget that we have. I'm most concerned about our rainy day fund, and that a lot of our projects in St. Louis County are funded by our bonds, and we can't be like other municipalities in the state and let that bond rating slip for lack of keeping that rainy day fund intact. So I too am in favor of these holdbacks that we've talked about here today. And another provision of this that I thought was good was the ability of the department heads that if they can't live and the stress is too great on their budget the way it is, that they can come back to this council and we would entertain those suggestions. So I think it's a prudent way of managing for the next year, and I think we'll see how we end the year at the end of 18 and go from there. So in the case of this bill here, I vote aye.
Mr. Chair, on substitute bill number 1 for bill number 317, there are 6 ayes and 1 no.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 317 is finally passed.
Bill number 319, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move for final passage of Bill number 319.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on bill number 319, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 319 is finally passed.
Substitute bill number 1 for bill number 337, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move for final passage of Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 337.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
No.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on substitute bill number 1 for bill number 337, there are 6 ayes and 1 no.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 337 is finally passed.
Bill number 348, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move for final passage of Bill number 348.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on bill number 348, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 348 is finally passed.
Bill number 349, introduced by Councilmember Erby.
I move for final passage of bill number 349.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on bill number 349, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 349 is finally passed.
Moving on to resolutions, we have 3 this evening, Mr. Chair. Resolution number 1, introduced by Councilmember Walton Gray.
Please hold.
Resolution number 2, introduced by Councilmember Walton Gray.
I move for the adoption of resolution number 2.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
I just want to thank Councilman Walton Gray for holding the hearing yesterday, and for Chief Belmar and the faculty from the Police Academy for coming and really shining the light on all the training that our officers do receive. They are mandated by the Post Commission, I believe, to receive 24 hours of training. Our Chief of Police requires an additional 8 hours in each of these areas that Ms. Walton Gray has recommended. So I thought it was a very good hearing. I was glad to learn the amount of training that each and every officer goes through on an annual basis. I appreciate that and all that they do. And I vote aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Can I ask a question? What was the last, we just got this when we were standing here before the meeting, but I don't know what the change was. We said it was a change.
The word, the counselor added the word with and the word at the end in section 3.
So just clerical, I didn't know. That's fine. I mean, and if I could make a comment too, I appreciate the hearing yesterday. It is good to have everybody understand what we do. Thank you for having the meeting, because it does shed some light on the training. The county provides a lot of training, and I think this just reinforces what they're already doing. So, I'm confident that they'll continue on with that. So I say aye. I vote aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
I want to echo Councilman Wassinger's statement. The level of training offered in the St. Louis County Police Department is impressive, as yesterday's hearing demonstrated. I appreciate the chief and other members of the police department taking their time to come before us. But that said, I vote aye.
Councilmember Harder?
I wasn't able to attend the meeting yesterday, but I did listen in on the telephone, and I was impressed as well from the standpoint of the amount of training that we offer, hundreds of programs, both through the academy and through continuing ed, that we offer in all different topics, not just this topic. This bill, because of that, is a little bit redundant, but if it sends the message that this is important to the community, I vote aye.
Mr. Chair, on resolution number 2, there are 7 ayes.
Resolution number 2 is adopted.
Resolution number 3, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
Please read the resolution.
Yes, sir. Resolution, whereas Bradley Pittman has served admirably and reliably as intern in the 7th Council District Office, and whereas Bradley is an accomplished young man outside of the arena of government and politics, as evidenced by his membership in the All Suburban Honor Choir in 2014 and 2015, and whereas he has also demonstrated his faith, commitment to service, and leadership ability as a confirmation mentor and camp counselor for his church's youth group, and whereas Bradley is also a past master counselor in the Crestwood Demolay, a founding member of Allegiance Chapter of Order of Demolay, a master mason of Merrimack Lodge number 313 AFAM, a fourth-generation member of Perryville Chapter 46 Order of Eastern Star, and was awarded the 2017 Grand Master Youth Award from the Grand Lodge of Missouri for his dedication, service, and leadership. And whereas Bradley was universally highly regarded and well-liked during his time with St. Louis County, now therefore be it resolved by the County Council of St. Louis County, Missouri as follows. Section 1, the County Council thanks Bradley Pittman for his efforts on their behalf and wishes him the best of luck in his future endeavors, including his next internship commitment in Jefferson City.
Thank you. I move that we approve this resolution.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Return resolution number 3, there are 7 ayes.
Resolution number 3 is adopted.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I would like to present this myself to Brad, and his parents are here today.
Oh, yes.
And if I could have them, I know Brad's had surgery on his leg and probably can't hobble up here, but if his family could come up, I'd like to present this to him. Good job, Bradley. Here you go, buddy. Brad was our intern for the last year, almost year, and now he's going on to be legislative aide up in Jefferson City in the coming months. So thank you for your service to the county and to myself and Chris.
I'll to be with your son.
Careful.
Look at that ramp.
Okay, moving on for unfinished business, Mr. Chair, item number 1.
Please hold on the order of business, same motion for item number 2, and that would be the order.
And under new business, Mr. Chair, we have 5 prepared orders this evening.
I move for adoption of order number 1.
Second.
All in favor of adoption of order number 1, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Order number 1 is adopted.
I move for adoption of order number 2, which is stating that our council meeting will be held at 6 o'clock on Tuesday at the hour of 6 o'clock. That's not right. This says Tuesday. It's gonna be Wednesday, January 3rd. Right, Jim? It says.
No, it's correct. You have to look at the second whereas.
Oh, okay. I'm right. You're right. It's gonna be held on Wednesday, January 3rd at 6 o'clock, 2018.
The whereas is given.
Okay.
Second. All in favor of order number 1?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? I'm sorry, order number 2. All in favor of order number 2?
Aye.
Opposed? Order number 2 is adopted.
I move for adoption of orders number 3, 4, and 5.
Second. All in favor of adoption of orders 3, 4, and 5? Say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Orders 3, 4, and 5 are adopted.
Mr. Chairman, motion to adjourn for 2017.
Second. It's been a long year.
All in favor of
And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone.
adjourning for 2017? Say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned.
I don't usually vote, but